Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. We're going to start off with a John Solomon article. FBI saw agents affair as security risk but took little action. This is today. This is an article from today. John Solomon in The Hill. Before I talk about that, I would like to introduce a book that I'm going to start reading soon. It's by a former State Department employee, Miss Tasha Dian, and it's entitled "State Department Records and the Collections and the Elections." State Department Records and the Elections, and this is really interesting. It talks about a whole bunch of things. I'll just read you quickly. The U.S. Department of State has been center stage in our presidential elections. At first glance, it may seem odd that a foreign agency could so significantly impact domestic presidential elections, but it has on several occasions in recent past. We cannot escape the near constant news media and congressional attention concerning the 2016 presidential election, Secretary Clinton's use of a private email server, why she lost the election, and concerns about the legitimacy of the presidency are nearly daily topics in the news media in news media reports. This is really interesting. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Justice, Inspector Generals of the intelligence community, and the Department of State conducted inquiries. Yet it is not easy to put the pieces together to understand what really happened. Records and information management expert and former Department State Records officer Tasha Dian tells the untold behind-the-scenes story with never-before-released material that is certain to surprise the reader. State Department records in the elections will shed light into the interworkings of government, the impact of our political system on agencies and their staffs, and why records management and information access are so important to the American experience. Tasha Dian gives an eyewitness account and detailed analysis of records activities as they relate to Bill Clinton's passport file search, the Hillary Clinton email server investigation, and a number of other famous politicians. So this is really great. It's by a Miss Tasha Dian, and I look forward to reading it. So this is State Department records and elections, and the elections. It's on Amazon. So I was reading the Amazon description of the book. So check it out. I'm going to buy it soon, and definitely check this out and read. There are numerous sections or chapters on the Clintons and record keeping and how the State Department and other agencies, collect records and how they basically. I'm eager to find out a lot of the things that perhaps I'm not aware of regarding how Clinton possibly transferred emails and possibly hid the fact that she was transferring top secret emails. So that's just something for everyone to look at. And yeah, so definitely check that out. Cajun Man. Thank you, Cajun Man. Thank you very, very much, Cajun Man, to my super chat. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, so that is written by the authors Tasha Dian. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. But I look forward to reading it. State Department records and the elections. That's on Amazon right now. Eric H526, incentive to rock on, HA. Have a great Sunday. Thank you. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you. So also, ladies and gentlemen, why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump in 2020. Share that everywhere on social media. That's my latest article in the Federalist. And let's get to it. So the Lovebirds, they were Lovebirds, and they were tweeting and texting each other. FBI saw agents affair as security risk, but took little action. This is really interesting. Here you have Peter Strzok, who, and I know that there's like Tom Fitton stated the other day on Judge Jeanine that, William Barr won't investigate Hillary. Look, I mean, Tom Fitton knows more than anyone. He knows more than anyone. His opinion should be respected, I think, more than anyone else's opinion. He is the tip of the spear, and he's the reason I believe she will eventually get indicted, because she's committed too many crimes. I don't think that William Barr will have the opportunity not to investigate. Either he'll have to, because there's too much criminal activity, not just with Clinton, but also with FBI agents like Strzok and Page and Comey and McCabe. Andrew McCabe right now is under criminal investigation. So even if let's just assume that, I believe she's running, but let's say there's no direct Clinton investigation. Yes, I do believe she'll get indicted eventually. There are investigations right now ongoing in the FBI, and this was in The Hill, and the Daily Beast talked about the Clinton email investigation. So there's a DOJ Clinton email probe. There's an FBI probe. Lindsey Graham has stated he wants to investigate the Clinton email scandal over again. So it just depends on referrals. There has to be, I mean, Fitton is right. President Trump has to intervene or declassify records. I mean, he has to do a bunch of things. I do believe that 2019, the tables will turn. I do believe Clinton will be investigated. Either Uranium One or the origins of the Russia probe, which will lead to Clinton anyway, because she purchased the Steele dossier. This is in the Washington Post. And she purchased and she paid for CrowdStrike. There are too many direct links between Hillary Clinton and the beginning of Trump Russia, which is a bunch of nonsense. The Steele dossier is a bogus document. And CrowdStrike was outsourced by Democrats and by Clinton. So you already have FBI agents under criminal investigation right now. That's basically, you're basically investigating Clinton if you're investigating Andrew McCabe. So I do believe there's going to be some major issues, revelations this year for sure. George Rivera Jr. Oh, of course, there were no actions taken against the Lovebirds. Their level of responsibility and above they were all in on the joke. Exactly. Their level of responsibility and above were all in on the joke. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. George Rivera Jr., I agree with you. And that's why I think ultimately there's no way not to investigate at least one aspect of Clinton's there's no way not to investigate one aspect of Clinton's crimes. It is a crime to fabricate it. Look, what they did to Trump is they went after a political rival deliberately. Peter Strzok even said that. And actually, Peter Strzok, William Barr promised Lindsey Graham, it was a lawfare. Numerous publications talked about this. William Barr promised an investigation into Peter Strzok, which leads directly to Clinton. Barr is Sessions 2.0. It could be. I don't think he is Agent Pepsi. He could be. See, I'm not saying trust anyone, but I am saying that it's virtually impossible in my mind for none of this to be investigated. Barr will not investigate Clinton for many reasons. Doesn't want to end up like some Agent Pepsi. George Rivera Jr., exactly. They were all in on it. Agent Pepsi, thank you. So, yeah, I mean, look. He's not going to announce. He's very likely. Well, let's put it this way. She committed crimes. She's running again. She was investigated last election. She'll be investigated in some manner this election, whether it's the investigation of Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, whether it's Andrew McCabe and James Baker, the top FBI legal counsel, who wanted to indict Clinton. There are too many tentacles from both Bill and Hillary everywhere when it comes to Trump Russia. So I don't think, once he looks into Trump Russia, which he has to this year, so whether it's a formal Clinton investigation or a Clinton investigation with another name, investigating Andrew McCabe or indicting Andrew McCabe, I do think it's going to happen eventually. I do think she's going to get indicted. I believe also she's running again. So that's You could say, and then people say like, "Oh, well, you said that the House was going to stay Republican." Well, I didn't realize that people were stupid and voted for candidates that promised Medicare for all, and there's no Medicare for all bill in Congress, and there's not even a Green New Deal legislation. There's a resolution which everyone mocked and eviscerated, which would, I explained in one of my Federalist articles, which would rely on the mining of cobalt, lithium, and nickel, which would decimate indigenous communities around the world. But people believed that. So what can you do? But they say, oh, you were wrong on the House. So what? I was right about the Senate. I was right about Clinton winning. Sorry. I was right about Trump winning, Clinton losing. Nobody was saying that. I was right about Trump-Russia, which amounted to nothing. All you heard from MSNBC, CNN pundits, and everyone from the Young Turks to wonderful people like David Pakman and Sam Cedar, all these wonderful, amazing journalists or whatever, pundits. They're really great people. That, oh my goodness, Trump worked with Russia, and Michael Cohen is singing, and everyone's singing, and nobody's singing or flipping. There's no evidence of anything after 2 years. It was the ultimate conspiracy nonsense. They talk about that on the other side. No, it was nothing. It was complete bogus fake news, a complete nonsense. Zero evidence. Absolutely zero evidence of anything. Zero evidence of anything. And yet they continue to. So I was right from the very beginning. I said that there was no Trump-Russia collusion. The intelligence agents, simply citing intelligence agencies that are already corrupt, is not evidence. And today, Adam Schiff said, we have direct evidence. Oh, yeah, you have direct evidence, but Mueller doesn't have the evidence, apparently. So I was right about that. I said Sessions would leave. I said that he would, and he left. He was forced out. I said that President Trump would declare a national emergency. He did. So really, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not perfect, but I have the pulse of what's going on. Clinton's running again. Nano Horizon. Donald was totally lit. See, by the way, I gave you your first YouTube and BitChute channel dissenter comments. Winning. Thank you. Dissenter comments. Thank you, Nano Horizon. Thank you. What are dissenter comments? Nano Horizon, thank you so much. So we will get right now to the John Solomon. We will get to the John Solomon article just out today. Oh, on thank you, Nano Horizon. Thank you, greatly appreciated. Thank you, Nano Horizon. Now I know it is. Yeah. Thank you. So let's get to, okay. To understand how dysfunctional the FBI was under fired James Comey and his deputy Andrew McCabe, consider how it dealt with allegations that its lead agent in the Russia probe was having an extramarital affair that could compromise his work. Look, all of this, it's unbelievable. Like, if you had agents saying, we'll stop Trump or we'll stop Clinton, you would never hear the end of it. I mean, you have an insurance policy called Trump Russia. You have all of these text messages where they literally disclose everything. Literally disclosed everything. And now you have Michael Cohen, who's lying through his teeth, who was working for Trump for 10 years, had no problem. And if he didn't commit bank fraud and everything else he committed, he would still be working for Trump. He was actually suing BuzzFeed. And now, like, Democrats are like, oh, I feel bad for Michael Cohen. Like, it's just pure power, the attainment of power. But anyway, the account is included in closed-door testimony given to Congress by William Priestap, Bill Priestap. He is the top counterintelligence chief at the FBI. I love how these people never explain. Like, they never explain how she transferred top secret intel. How did she? Priestap's, that's why I'm going to go ahead and read the book that I was discussing in the beginning of this segment. Jordan Weinberg. It's all up to Barr. It's all up to Barr. All of his Rhino Barr. If he's Rhino, we're okay. Jordan Weinberg, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it is. I doubt. I think that Tom Fitton hopefully was just speaking, because he's at the front. He's at the front and center of everything. So he's probably, hopefully, just a bit exasperated and frustrated. And he was saying that, look, based on everything we've seen, he's not going to do much. That's true. He might not do much for 2 years. But you know what? There are too many scandals for the DOJ not to get involved that all link to Clinton. So, and I agree with you, Jordan. I agree with you. George Rivera Jr., thank you. Jordan Weinberg, thank you. Chad Galloway. Thank you, Chad. Thanks for giving facts the Dems won't. Thank you. So, the account is included in a closed-door testimony given to Congress by William Priestap, the Assistant Director for Counterintelligence under Comey and McCabe. Priestap supervised two of the most controversial cases in the past decade, the Hillary Clinton email scandal and the Trump-Russia collusion allegations. See, this is the interesting thing between the two. One is an allegation that was investigated based on information purchased by Clinton. Clinton literally, not figuratively, literally purchased her own investigation. Ladies and gentlemen, Clinton literally purchased her own investigations. And they covered up everything. And even James Comey is like using the same ridiculous line, are we really talking about Clinton's emails again? Yeah, you covered it up. We all know you covered it up. Every single person on the planet knows you covered it up. Every single person on the planet knows you covered it up. So, like, the Democrats are like, well, we covered it up fair and square. Now we got to investigate Trump for nonsense. And I just find it's definitely frustrating. They are going after Trump so hard. They are going after Trump so hard. That's all they do is go after Trump. They go after Trump. And it's like, these are allegations with there's no teeth to them. Simply allegations. We have no clue, like zero clue. There was no evidence of any crime committed. And all they do is constantly go after Trump. They want his taxes. The Southern District of New York is going after Trump. Like, not only the DOJ, but a state like the Southern District of New York is going after Trump through Michael Cohen now. And it's like he needs an attorney general to turn the tables. He needs that. And that's the thing. William Barr doesn't have to do much. Just simply indict Andrew McCabe, which he lied 3 times under oath. Anyone else who did that would be indicted. So it's like, I'm not really worried. Like, Clinton will eventually get indicted. I'm not really worried if she gets indicted tomorrow or if there's an official investigation or a special counsel. There should be all of those things. But all they have to do, all the DOJ has to do, is simply look at who is under criminal investigation. Andrew McCabe is already under criminal investigation. The IG actually stated that Andrew McCabe should be indicted, should be charged. So when people cite the IG and say, oh, there's no evidence of anything. Look, the IG said, yeah, the IG also said that Andrew McCabe should get indicted. Do you want that, Democrat? Because then you want to talk about flipping and singing. The people who would flip and sing the loudest with the greatest tunes of all are people on the Democratic side of the divide. The Peter Strzoks, the Lisa Pages, mainly the Peter Strzoks, not so much Lisa Page. Peter Strzok, Andrew McCabe, James Comey. These are all people who committed illegal acts. You can't lie 3 times under oath like Andrew McCabe and just expect to get away with it. Like, there has to be some kind of justice. And so once that takes place, that in and of itself is a Clinton investigation. You see what I'm saying? It's not like, yes, of course, everybody wants a special counsel into Uranium One. Might not happen right away. But all you need is Andrew McCabe to get indicted, and then it's game over. Papa D, doing tax data collection. Decided H.A. Goodman's a Thank you, Papa D. Papa D, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. It is tax season. Absolutely. Papa D, thank you. Thank you, Papa D. Big Chris! Big Chris! Hey, A-Chain, when you take a break from calling out the corrupt D on CBS, check out a little known movie called Bomb City. It is a true story about some persecuted punks in Amarillo in the 90s. Oh, okay. Big Chris, do you like my Ramones? Just got that today. Okay, so. Oh, okay. I'm definitely watching this movie. Looks good. Thank you so much, Big Chris. Thank you. I will check that out. Thank you very much. Now, this is a movie that looks good. So yeah, that does look good. Does look good. All right. So let's get back to as such. He was directed. He was the direct boss of Peter Strzok, the Trump-hating agent who led both investigations. So a guy who hated Trump with a passion. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I'm telling you, the corruption. Look, the whole look. I'm not going to harp on it, but the whole Q thing, it's like complete nonsense. And what they did was and they're still taking people for a ride. Like, oh yeah, the white hats, the Mueller, the white hats. It's like, oh my God almighty. This is what happens when you mess with people's brains for too long and you tell them, like, I'm not saying that, Martians from MySpace are telling me things that nobody else knows and we're working all with Trump. No, this is my viewpoint, my opinion. You know what? If I go all in, I have to, eat crow or, just tell people I told you so. But either way, it's me. Yeah, and I'm a journalist, a writer. You know my writing. It's me. Okay. The corruption, the weight of the corruption is too heavy. They're not going to get away with this forever. Just like I said, I said the corruption this is unsustainable in 2015, and I was eventually right. But see, people are taken for a ride, and what takes place is that the longer nothing, tangible happens in terms of like this ridiculous notion of tribunals, which would never happen. It's like none of these things are taking place. Okay. The best we can hope for is for the DOJ to politely one day say, "Please, Madam Secretary, so sorry to inform you, but you happen to be indicted for about 30 crimes. Are you okay? We don't want to bother you." That's all. That's literally what would happen. Bruce Tomaszewski! Finally a notification. Hillary must be indicted prior to announcing 2020 run. I suppose it will be seen as retribution either way. Yeah, that's true, Bruce. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce, for your email. Thank you. Oh, by the way, if you want to be part of my newsletter, it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. If you ever want to, if you're a pundit, you ever want to debate me on my channel, my pleasure. I would easily defeat you in any debate regarding President Trump and why he's a great president and why Bernie Sanders supporters should support President Trump. But it's contactgoodman78@gmail.com. So I can pretty much tell you right now, the pundits I've called out aren't going to want to debate me, but that's fine. Because I know their Achilles heel. They're all going to vote for Hillary 2020. She's running. On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you that Clinton is running in 2020? I'm first breaking this story before anyone. But how happy are you? On a scale from 1 to 10. On a scale from 1 to 10. 10 being very happy, and then 0 being not so happy. Yes. Yes. I love it. 100. 10. Exactly. Exactly. 0. Ramla, hello. You know what? I don't love Bolton, but Bolton, I mean, have we destroyed any nations? No, and we did not destroy 1 million% inflation country in Latin America. That was not, that was not Trump. It was Obama who destroyed Libya. I don't like Bolton at all. I call him the homeless walrus. Thank you, everyone. So, Bruce, thank you. Let's get to it. So, honey, he's not going to win, right? No, honey. We'll stop him. I'm the lumberjack. Snooch! Continuing the support from my man, good man. Thank you, Snooch. Thank you so very much. Thank you for always watching, Snooch. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Snooch. Thank you. She's running again, and this could be a complete repeat in every single way. In every single way. Of 2016, including the investigations. Look, once Clinton is always in the limelight, she can't not be in the limelight. Like a moth to a flame, she cannot. Her Achilles heel is the same thing that makes her very, very powerful. She's always, always omnipresent in the limelight. So I might just every single day, one of my first uploads in the morning when you wake up, and it'll be from now on, I'll do like a couple uploads in the morning, just quick uploads. Well, not so quick. I my 15-minute usual, but just one of them will be devoted to Hillary 2020. And people say she's not running. Why? Don't be petrified. Don't be upset. Embrace it. Be happy. The Democrats are going to pretend that they actually have a political party. They don't have a political party. Snooch. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Snooch. They don't have a political party. They have a plaything of Bill and Hillary. That's it. That's it. That's all they have. That's all they have. And let's continue. She's running again. Every time she says she's not running currently, that means she will eventually run. And every major announcement in Politico and the Wall Street Journal, Hillary's running, followed by, she's not running, she's just, it's just constant marketing. She's running. And then, oh no. And then people who are like, yay, she's running. Some people, and most of humanity is like, oh my God, no. And so it's like this constant, no. And is Jason around the corner? Is Freddy Krueger in my nightmare? Will he not know? We don't know. And then it'll be, you want me? You want me to save the Democrats? But I don't really want to run. I only started Onward Together 3 years ago, right after I lost to raise money. You want me to run? I mean, honestly, me? Really? But you want me to unify everyone? Okay. If you want me to run, I will. She's running. You think 2 years we've heard the Russians? Who are they going to go with? Amy Klobuchar? They have nobody who could possibly defeat Trump. Clinton comes close, but she won't do it. Pack Wave. Any chance of hosting Democracy Now! With your mom? I would be an embarrassment to her. Madge Mac running at flax speed. The Debutalis heads for the secret base of Demosania, the source of mysterious aura that powered the Iron Beast. Yes! Madge Mac, yes! 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 Madge Mac, thank you. Thank you. So let's continue. Basically, the Lovebirds, the FBI was like, we don't know if we want two Lovebirds on two different investigations, because then we might have, honey, he's not going to win, is he? No, honey, we'll stop it. And then the IG's like, oh, the IG, by the way, didn't see that text. I don't believe the IG saw that text, but whatever. And a bunch of text messages were all destroyed and deleted. No problem. The FBI had informed Congress that Strzok was having an extramarital affair with FBI lawyer Lisa Page. How do you do that? Like, it's like, how do you formally write that? Dear Honorable Congress, we're writing to inform you that two of our top agents investigating Trump are doing the wild thing, extramaritally, if you will. And just to let you know, we want to let you know their personal business because it almost certainly will affect their work. Oh, sorry, McCabe knew. The counsel to then Deputy Director McCabe while the Russia case was going on. And it was alleged the couple's now infamous anti-Trump text messages that gave rise to questions about possible political bias. Gee, it's possible. We just don't know. It could happen. Gee, it's possible. We have no idea. It's just possible. You think it's possible there was political bias when he said basically that he couldn't stand Trump and he wanted to launch Trump into a Space Force space capsule outside of the Milky Way galaxy? You think that was maybe some bias? Any bias there? Maybe. You think there's a little bias if they found evidence of crimes and they're like, well, we just couldn't find intent? How do you unintentionally set up servers that transfer top secret and special access program intelligence outside of the United States government? How does that even happen? The FBI informed Congress that, okay, so last year, House investigators got a chance to question Priestap, and they asked about the importance of personal security and making sure that your employees do not do things that make them vulnerable to a foreign power. Priestap's answer was clear and concise. I'd argue it's very important for all FBI personnel, very important for all United States intelligence community personnel, and it's especially important for FBI counterintelligence personnel, meaning that if Russia or anyone knew that Strzok and Page could be definitely easily compromised by, hey, we have pictures of you guys. But that would never happen. Why? Because they like Democrats, so that never happens, even though Putin got 20% of U.S. uranium capacity from the Obama administration, but don't ever talk about that or connect the dots. Don't ever do that. You are not allowed to. You are not allowed to connect any dots. Only with Trump when it has nothing to do with anything. Let's continue. A whole variety of things. So he was pressed to describe the specific activities that would make an agent vulnerable to enemy's spy tradecraft. They call it the honey trap. That's what they would call it, or a variation of that. A variety of personal behaviors can make someone more susceptible or vulnerable if you're married, extramarital affairs. So he brings that up. And that is made known to FBI employees? Absolutely. He answered, confirming that Strzok and his subordinate would have been trained about the vulnerabilities and tradecraft of adversaries. These people were probably so compromised. All of these people were probably so compromised. This is like a joke. This is the biggest, this is The Hill, by the way. John Solomon, reputable, great publication, amazing journalist. I spoke to both Pete and Lisa about it. I felt I owed it to them. Lisa did not report to me, but I felt they ought to be aware of what was being said. What followed next was unbelievable, but before reading Priestap's words, it's essential to note that he considered an extramarital affair as a security risk, yet treated his interactions with the two FBI agents as a courtesy notification, rather than confronting to see if it was true. Of course, he knew it was true, but see, the thing is, they're all in it. They're all in on it. Quote, I didn't ask them if it's true, but they needed to know what the impression was out there. Everything's impression. Meanwhile, if you're a Navy sailor, you take a picture of an inside of a sub, and you put it in the trash can. You're away from your family for 1 year in prison, until President Trump um, pardoned Christian Saucier, and then he was able to see his daughter and wife. Meanwhile, Clinton literally transfers thousands of classified documents, 22 top secret emails, special access program intelligence emails. And then what happens? Bupkis, nothing. Literally, James Comey is like, oh yeah, well, let's see. Well, we have evidence that Clinton committed crimes, but, we don't know. Gee, we just don't know if she meant to do that. But let's focus on Trump, because actually, Madam Secretary, Madam Cyberhack purchased a Steele dossier, and we're going to investigate that because we're so suspicious, and there are allegations. With Democrats, there's suspicion and allegations. With Republicans looking at Clinton, or Trump looking at Clinton, there's actual classified data on Congressman Anthony Weiner's laptop, with Uma Abedin's laptop. How did they get there? We don't know. And it's not allegations. It actually happened. There's special access program intelligence on Clinton's servers. She deletes 33,000 emails, but there's no allegations that all these things happen, but there's no suspicion. And exactly, you don't even need intent. Exactly. Absolutely, and I agree with you. You don't even need intent. So, but all right, let's continue. So I didn't ask them if it's true, but they need to know. They need to know that that impression was out there. Pre-stop explained, and I don't remember my exact words, but what I was trying to communicate is, quote, "This better not interfere with things, if you know what I mean. Like, to me, the mission is everything. Oh, for real? And so we all have our personal lives, what have you. I'm not the morality police. Oh, how wonderful of you. You're not the morality police, but you know it's a security risk, and you're totally cool with it. Lawmakers were dismayed and followed up, but that behavior would make them vulnerable to an intelligence service. In my opinion, yes. Wow. Wow. Lawmakers were dismayed and followed up, but that behavior would make them vulnerable to an intelligence service. In my opinion, yes, Priestap, Peter Strzok's boss, said, wow. Wow. That is phenomenal. You literally have the FBI saying, yeah, we have 2 agents who were security risks, and we were okay. And they were actually anti-Trump partisans. And that's the interesting thing. Like, how do you, whenever it's somebody on the left doesn't like, it's like, oh, you know what? That's a right-wing talking point. Or you know what? That person's a Trump supporter. Then you have Peter Strzok, who's like, I hate Trump. And they're like, well, none of his actions correlated to his dislike of Trump. Don't ever accuse him. It's like, well, which one is it? Which one is it? It's always the messenger, never the message with Democrats until, or no, it's always the message. Sometimes it's both, but you know what I mean. If the tables were turned, oh my God. No, Priestap answered, because again, I didn't know for certain it was going on. Oh, here we go again. And I didn't ask them whether it was going on. Why not? You're in the FBI. Are you kidding? You're the guy's boss. And I also felt, to comment earlier, and they knew darn well that if it was going on, that potentially makes them vulnerable. Here we see, look. So the fear of being viewed as a morality policeman kept the FBI's top counterintelligence official from directly determining if 2 employees, both handling some of the utmost sensitive counterintelligence cases in recent FBI history, were having an affair. Look, bottom line is this. More data was stolen. More data was compromised. More people were compromised. More top secret and special access program intelligence left the United States of America. Almost certainly from the Obama administration, especially because of Clinton and because of things like this with just corrupt officials and inept officials at the FBI. I mean, rest assured, the whole world has American secrets. Why? Because of Clinton. And then they flip. See, then they get the Wall Street Journal, or no, sorry, they get the New York Times. Four people familiar with the matter say that Trump gave classified intelligence, highly classified, to Russia. It's like, are you kidding me? She literally had servers outside of the United States government. And then, by the way, and I explained this in Butter Top Secret emails below in the pinned comment, she used cloud services to outsource all her emails after she was Secretary of State. When she left, Dado Inc. and Platte River had all her emails, including the 33,000 deleted ones. And they were not, they didn't have the authority to handle or to store classified data, but they did. It's almost as if Republicans don't want to even touch the issue. I mean, the Republicans are so frightened. They're like the cowardly lion. They have zero courage. Priestap's description of how the FBI danced around the security question harkens back to FBI failures 2 decades earlier, when Bureau executives failed to confront suspicions about then counterintelligence agent Robert Hansen. That's right. I always bring Robert Hansen up, who 2 decades ago of spying for Russia was among the worst betrayals of U.S. intelligence history. It's unbelievable. Mitchell Smith! President Trump's greatest contribution is the awakening of the people. If Clinton had won, we would know very little of this. Yep. We would be like sheep being led to, thank God Trump won. Yes. Thank God Trump won. I agree with that. He's objectively a good president. There's no way to objectively say he's not. From any perspective, record low Black and Latino unemployment. He wants to bring home Americans from never-ending conflicts. He's presiding over peace between North and South Korea. I agree, and that's why, Mitchell, thank you so very much, as always, for your support of my voice in this channel. Thank you, Mitchell Smith. And that's why I wrote my article in the Federalist. Below, check it out. Why Bernie Sanders supporters should vote Trump 2020. Get that viral. Share that everywhere. Just ignore any hate-filled comments from people. If sometimes, like, the logic is too much for people. I'm like, oh my God, I have HA derangement syndrome. Then after the investigations and the Hansen scandal in 2001 and 2002 determined the FBI suffered from a culture of lax personnel and information security. Well, there you go. The IG report, our review revealed unwillingness within the FBI to report security violations and take them seriously, even when highly sensitive information was involved. Well, there you get the no intent. The FBI, under leadership of Robert Mueller, vowed sweeping reforms to aggressively monitor agents, especially counterintelligence. I mean, Priestap's testimony suggested the fervor of those reforms had waned by 2016. They're like, well, we don't really want it. We don't really want to look into it anymore. So they viewed Peter Strzok as a security risk. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, they're using the House. Papa D. Thank you. Knife Kit, thank you. They're using Michael Cohen's testimony, and they're going to impeach Trump eventually before 2020 based on nonsense. Not based on high crimes. Won't get past the Senate. Need 2/3 of the Senate. But there's one New York Times who blocked me on Twitter when I was on Twitter for some reason. I've changed my mind on impeachment. Really? Almost certainly this writer and journalist for the New York Times wanted impeachment, but let's just say I've changed my mind on impeachment. I used to agree that an impeachment in the House, knowing that the Senate wouldn't vote to remove, was folly. Now I think it must be done anyway. The political question is a moral one. Oh, like when Hillary Clinton referred to black youth as super predators? That's what Hillary, not Trump, that's what Hillary referred to black youth as. Oh, but please give us more morality lesson. When Clinton transferred top secret intelligence outside of the United States government, destroyed Libya along with Obama to save the people of Libya, turned it into a failed state. It wasn't a failed state prior. We can't have criminal president who goes unchecked. This is a New York Times journalist, a criminal prez who goes unchecked. 53,000 likes on Twitter. A criminal prez. What crime did he commit, by the way? Was it the Espionage Act, U.S. Code 793F? No, that was Clinton. Who literally should... The FBI legal counsel stated that she should have been indicted. He wanted her to be indicted. This is the top FBI lawyer. But tell us more about the criminal prez. You found nothing after 2 years. Nothing. And this is the wonderful New York Times. So there you go. And then one rebuttal to record low black unemployment is under Obama, black unemployment fell from a high of 16.8% to 7.8%. Yeah. How is that a rebuttal? It's now a little over 5%, which is still higher than white Americans. And that should be low. It should be the national average. This should not be higher, obviously. But how is that a rebuttal? This is one guy from the Washington Post. And under the Orange Monster, who is said to be the most racist, horrible person ever existed, it's now record low. How is that bad? How is that bad? How is that even a rebuttal to what Trump is presiding over? It's the same thing. Like, it's just like a petulant rebuttal. Like, oh yeah. Like, yeah, why, Now, Ocasio-Cortez, by the way, is being like just utilized by the Democrats simply to ensure that nobody votes Republican on like gun control or anything like that. Like no Medicare for all. I thought people were perishing because there's no Medicare for all. No abolish ICE. They promise all these things and then they don't, it just doesn't happen. My God, this is hilarious. One guy writes, I respectfully disagree. For the soul of this nation, the soul, Trump needs to be exposed, shamed, indicted, then voted out and prosecuted to the fullest extent. What did he do? I want to know what he did. I don't know. I don't want to know what other people said he did. How come nobody was able to say what? Nobody was able to give their viewpoint or gossip on Clinton. Any actually whistleblower testimony is like, Huber puts it like underneath a desk or underneath a file cabinet, never to be seen again. There's literally FBI informants saying that they have evidence. William D. Campbell, they were witness to Russian lobbyists bragging about their influence over Obama and Clinton, but we can't talk about that. Money flowed into the Clinton Foundation. then if people don't remove him as an electorate, there is no redemption for decades. I detest the man, but I fear for us more. What is this? What is this nonsense? And then the journalist says, sir, an impeachment is an indictment. The trial is conducted in the Senate. Of what? What are you going to indict him on? What's the high crime? Well, somebody said this and somebody said that. Somebody said this and that. Somebody said this and somebody said that, and Trump is accused of this and Trump is accused of that. Great. Is there any evidence? No, there's no evidence. For 2 years, Trump did this, Trump did that. The difference between Trump's scandals and Clinton's scandals is that actually Clinton did commit crimes. She does commit crimes. But then they say, well, it's unintentional. The same people who are like, I hate Trump, literally in their text messages, preside over, like James Comey's like, well, it was unanimous. No, it wasn't. Your own FBI lawyer, the top legal counsel, stated that Clinton should have been indicted. So he lied under oath regarding that also. These people lie under oath all the time. Look, I'm not saying trust Barr. I'm just saying trust the odds. The odds are you cannot commit crimes forever and get away with it. It doesn't, look, there's never been a corrupt, powerful person who was so sloppy that they didn't eventually face legal or political consequences. It just doesn't have, it's too, I'm talking about the odds. I'm not talking about the plan or whatever. There is no plan in life. You have to live every day and make sure that you live through the day. You have to make sure you live through the day. You almost certainly will. But you know what? You got to make sure you live through the day. Don't do anything stupid. Don't text while you're driving. Don't drink and drive. Don't, do dumb things. Don't commit crimes all the time. Exactly, Johnny M. Mr. Trump, we are indicting and impeaching you under U.S. code. He said, she said. Under U.S. code, he said, she said. Exactly. Exactly. I agree with you. Ah, goodness. Let's see here. Let's see here. So they're going to impeach Trump. They're going to fabricate something. And that's it. Clinton, ladies and gentlemen, is running again. And if it takes her 5-6 more months of, I'm not running, yes, I'm running, yes, I'm running, I'm not running. I mean, ask yourself this, who do they have? I understand why people would say she's not running again. She would know better. No, it's Clinton. Do you think that, you and I, like after, 2 devastating political defeats where we had to blame Russia? Yes, I get it. Like you and I wouldn't, but we're not Hillary. We are not Hillary. There's no such thing as like the Clintons, if they want something, they get it. That's it. And then Adam Schiff's like, well, there's direct evidence now. Oh, by the way, Rand Paul is going to vote against. He could be the fourth. Rand Paul could be the fourth Republican, and then Trump will veto it, which is fine. I actually like Rand Paul, but which is fine. Have Trump veto. I would actually like a veto better. Oh, look at this. Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and other 2020 hopefuls honor March on Selma. Okay. This is obviously an important historic event today. And other 2020 hopefuls? They called Clinton and other 2020 hopefuls. This is right today. Who has been telling you she's running? Me. Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and other 2020 hopefuls honor and march on Selma. Clinton slams White House for lifting up racist views. See, that's nonsense. My Jerusalem Post article, the op-ed, President Trump's words do not incite hate. You cannot say someone else's words lift up racist views. So you're working overtime. You're this mental gymnastics, well, you said something, bad about, one issue. Okay. And Clinton has said and done things. Hillary Clinton referred in a disgusting manner to Mahatma Gandhi being a gas station attendant. That is disgusting. Hillary Clinton spread a photo of Obama in African attire, it was bad that Trump was doing it, and it was bad that Hillary was doing it. She used a racist 3 a.m. ad. She's used racism throughout her life. And the headline here, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and other 2020 hopefuls. There you go. Snooch! I almost forgot to wish you a happy haircut. Thank you, Snooch. Thank you. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you very much, Snooch. Thank you, Snooch. Thank you for your support. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciate. So Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and other 2020 hopefuls. Well, there you go. There you go. So it's almost like the media is so in overdrive. I mean, Trump has to. I mean, it's like he can't have Barr just pull a Sessions 2.0. Ethan Long. That might as well be your campaign slogan. Hillary 2020. When she wants something, she gets it. Pretty much. Snooch, thank you again. Ethan Long. I agree with you, Ethan. I agree with you. She's running again. Look, at the end of the day, they don't care about winning because think about it this way. You think people are paying $400,000 a plate or $300,000 a plate? Did they save the Match Mac? Nah, they're probably going to bring a new one in. Look, if you raise $1.2 billion and you find creative ways like the Democrats do of siphoning the money, laundering the money, and it's not even the money, like it's just like for all of these fundraisers or networking functions, you're selling a script, you're selling, you need money for a movie. All the people with money there are going to be at that event. If you're at a Hollywood fundraiser for Hillary, do you think you care about Medicare for all? No. Do you think you care about bringing home Americans from never-ending conflict? No, of course not. She's a neoconservative in her views. She's to the right of Obama, who was already militant. The anti-war president is Donald Trump, but don't tell that to Democrats who they don't even know what anti-war means. But think about it this way. You go to an actor's house. It's $330,000, one actor. It was George Clooney. $330,000. But let's say you go to another actor's house. It's $200,000 per plate to be near Hillary and the actor. $200,000 or $300,000. You think it's about that you really care about the future of the country? No. Who is at these events? Super wealthy individuals. And Hollywood is all about raising money for movies. That's all they want, is to raise money for movies. They need money to fund movies. That's just one example. That's just one example. You go to this function, there's, everyone there who's super wealthy. You can speak to people, and sure, you pay $20,000 or $300,000, but you have access to tens of millions, or people who have access to tens of millions. So it's like a marketing expense. Patricia Moreno! They may just wait till a contested convention on the second round the superdelegates could install her. That's Patricia Moreno. That is a great Patricia Moreno. That is a great that could be prescient. That could be very that could happen. I agree with you on that. That's what should have happened with Bernie. It could have been a contested convention. He promised that, actually, also. Brian! Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for your support. Papa D! Finally saw Free Solo, dude's brain scan. Free Solo. Finally saw dude's brain scan showed. Amygdala is dysfunctional. Amygdala is dysfunctional. Oh, are you? What are you exactly referring to? Papa D, thank you. Brian, thank you. With Kamala Harris, a California Democrat's not going to win the entire country. Then you have Bernie, and his moment to win had passed. I was right. If it was a fair election, he would have won. He was cheated. How do we know? Because the Russians apparently hacked the DNC to inform everyone that he was cheated. And Vermont senator winning the entire country without the base of support that he once had. In addition to the fact that well, now they're trying to paint Trump as a racist yet again. That's all they have. The playbook they had, he's a misogynist. Keith Ellison, they don't talk about. His female accuser has medical records. And, oh my God, he's a racist. That's it. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Did you see what Trump said? Did you see what Trump is alleged to have done? It's never Trump committed this crime and that's it. No, it's just, you know what? There's questions swirling. Questions swirling about Trump. Swirling questions. Questions are swirling. Questions are swirling. Clinton is going to run again. Look. Hillary Clinton, we are living through a full-fledged crisis in our democracy. Oh, goodness. We're in a full-fledged crisis. Really? When you cheated Bernie Sanders, that wasn't a full-fledged crisis. That's interesting. Thanks, Bernie. Thanks a lot, Bernie, for not only capitulating, rewriting history. Bernie literally rewrote his own history. He was cheated, knows he was cheated, and just took a back seat. My God. CNN. Oh my, it's a full-fledged crisis. This is a full-fledged crisis. And make no mistake, this is a time, my friends, when fundamental rights, civic virtue, freedom of the press, the rule of law, Clinton's talking about the rule of law. Oh my God. Truth, facts, that she survived Bosnian sniper fire. It's on. She's running. Thank God. Yet another prediction I made that's taking place. This is a time, my friends, when fundamental rights, civic virtue, freedom of the press, the rule of law, truth, facts, and reason are under assault. Hillary Clinton said she survived Bosnian sniper fire. She illegally transferred top secret intelligence outside the United States government. The Clinton Foundation is an overt money laundering scheme, but let's continue. And make no mistake, we are living through a full-fledged crisis in our democracy. That's interesting. For a person who's not running, she's in the news every single day, every single day, every single day. Chad Davis. Yes. Yes. Chad Davis. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chad. Thank you. Hillary Clinton. We're living through a full-fledged democracy. So there you go. That's pretty much, that's, I think we'll leave it on that note. If Clinton's talking about the rule of law, that's pretty much, all we need to know. She literally broke legal statutes, according to James Comey, but, let's not dwell on that. William Barr, now would be a good time for literally anything. You can help out a little bit. At 2 years of sessions, so. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe right now. Thank you so very much. As I usually say that in my upload, to my super chat. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for supporting my voice in this channel. Thank you. I will be back several other times today. This was a great live stream. I hope everyone enjoys my Ramones poster behind me. I had to put the Ramones up there. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for everything. And God bless. I'll see you all soon. To my super chat, thank you so very, very much. Thanks, everybody.